Well, today we learned about all aspects of angel investing, and the thing that I walked away with is really equating angel investing to a relay race. Certainly as an angel investor, I've got to understand how the project has proceeded up to this point. I've got to be willing to take the handoff from the group that's funded it up to this point, and then I've got to help that project team learn how to transition to the next level of funding, most likely venture capital funding. So it's much like that race. Well, today we talked about many things in the seminar, but I'd like to comment on due diligence. Some of the things we learned were some of the things we've already experienced, like the value of doing due diligence as a team instead of as an individual. But we also learned some things that the association has developed over time, and one of the major risk factors that we need to pay attention to is the quality of the management team.
The collective wisdom of angel members can really bring to bear the opportunity for really high and rewarding returns. And when you think of that in our approximately 50 members, the collective experience and wisdom that group has that can bring to bear on the due diligence process and the other components of the investment can really be invaluable to help us collectively as a group make wise choices.
The valuation is not an exact science. I think it was referred to as a black art, meaning there is no particular formula. One of the key things that we came away with was that there is a methodology, and as long as you focus on that methodology, you can at least get into the process in order to evaluate it.
And the other thing we need to pay attention to is how much due diligence we're doing. Those groups that do less than 20 hours of due diligence have a much, much lower return than those that do 20 to 40 hours of due diligence. So there's now good, solid data that suggests the amount of due diligence we need to do to avoid the trap of a smaller than necessary return.
The speaker spoke about several different basic fundamental concerns you should worry about. What are the limitations of the founder, and does the founder recognize his own limitations, and how are you going to help guide and move him along to his next role if in fact his next role isn't leading the company? How frequently be communicating with the board of directors of the portfolio companies so that you can communicate with your members and know what's going on so they can either lend value-added services or be aware of what's happening for the future so they can make decisions on whether to invest follow-on or encourage a sale of the organization or whatever other type of event you might be involved in.
Also, I learned that angel investing is much like a golf game. You know, when I play golf, if I get maybe 2 or 3 good holes, I'm thrilled. That's what brings me back. I kind of forget about the fact that I really flubbed up 6 or 8 holes all throughout that 18-hole event. That's what angel investing is. 30% or so of our projects are going to fall flat. They're not going to succeed. But 10% or so are going to be very successful. And that's why we all work to make angel investing a success.